All right, what's up, y'all? So apparently the big wigs that were in charge, the big execs or whatever, that were in charge of making the first John Wick movie were all scared to kill off John's puppy. But the producers of the movie kept pushing for it anyway, thankfully, because to me, the movie would not have been the same at all without the death of that puppy. Let's talk about this. So, of course, nobody wants to even think about their puppy or their dog or a dog, whatever, being hurt and killed like this. But it just really is the catalyst that you need to set this movie off. I'm so sorry. So I'm glad that the producers kept pushing for it. This Deadline article will be in my description if you want to check it out in full. But the title is John Wick producers recall Keanu Reeves stood up for puppy death scene. They say after 4 films, 1 spin-off series, and more to come, it's hard to imagine John Wick happily driving off into the sunset with his puppy. Marking the hit action film's 10th anniversary, producers revealed that Keanu Reeves helped them fight to kill off the titular character's furry friend in the first installment, sparking his franchise-long fight for revenge. We were told it's bad luck, it's bad juju, one of the producers explained to Business Insider. It's old Yeller, you can't do this. No one will want to see this on screen. You're going to alienate the audience. And I'm like, we're going to execute people at close range. Killing the dog is one thing, but what about the brutal massacre of all these human beings? Are they going to be able to accept that? It's so funny though, because like even in real life, you're just like, now, some of y'all, I'd be like a little concerned because I'm like, some of y'all be treating these dogs better than y'all treat your humans around you. So, I mean, but it is what it is, right? It is what it is. And so I guess the executives were operating from that standpoint where a lot of times the general public can stand watching certain things happen to human beings, but they cannot handle it. They cannot handle it when it comes to dogs. I was going to say animals, but they pick and choose their animals, girl, the general public, because they be chewing on one and then be sad for another animal. That y'all be chomping on one animal and sad for another one. But specifically dogs and puppies, oh my gosh, can't do it. They can't do it. So, I guess I can understand the executive's apprehension or whatever, but not after you take in the full story. Like that's the catalyst, So he continued, they didn't understand that we were making a genre movie. We are genre fans to the core, and we know those hard-boiled moments are what make memorable moments. He's right. So he said, Dave and I were very in sync on how we were going to shoot the scene. We were going to use a baby lens. John gets hit hard in the head, so it's going to be dreamlike. The dog death happens off camera, and all you're going to see in the aftermath is this trail of the blood, making it look like the puppy tried to crawl to him. So on the day, Keanu was acting with a stuffed dog, crying. He's all beat up. He looks awful in his pajamas. Everyone behind the monitors must have thought, okay, this is the worst idea. These first-time directors are done, he said. For the next couple of weeks, it was suggested that we shoot an alternative ending, revealing that the puppy actually isn't dead. But Keanu stood up for us. And I guess Bezos stood up to the investors, and eventually they just felt, F it, let's see what these guys can do. And of course, John Wick grossed more than 86 million worldwide, with the franchise crossing the $1 billion mark last year with John Wick Chapter 4. Of course, the franchise will continue with Ballerina, of course, starring on, and then we have, they're talking about an anime as well or something. Oh yeah, a prequel anime that's in development. So that's gonna be cool. So yeah, I just thought it was really interesting that the executives were here. Really, I don't know how you could see that entire movie and be like, oh well, we have to make sure that this dog don't die. Because to me, that this emotional moment of this puppy dying, it can help the audience to justify the mass murder that this mass murder spree that this guy goes on in revenge. It just allows the audience to really root for him, especially like you talk about this guy wiped and just died. His lover and died. And then the only thing he has to remember her by is this puppy. You see what I'm saying? This puppy. And y'all done killed this man puppy. Of course he's gonna take that sledgehammer to the concrete, start getting his he retired, but he had to go down into the concrete to get his old tools back. He had to go get his tools back because he was not gonna let this stand. So it's so interesting. I love these kinds of moments where like you get to see the behind the scenes of like some of the most iconic scenes, iconic moments in in movies, shows, whatever. It's just like if the plot did not commit to like just killing this dog off, we would not have this movie. We would not have the justification that we needed as an audience member to watch this guy, mess up hundreds of people. Literally shoot up hundreds of people, y'all. Like, what do you mean? Take the dog out. Like, get out of here. So I'm glad that like the creators won this round. It's always some executive, some dusty investor in some office somewhere impeding the creative's path, standing in the way of the writer's mission, of the showrunner's goal. It's always some weird investor, some weird executive. Sit down. Let us tell the story. You are not the creative. You are the numbers guy. So sit in your little office, type your little calculator up, and type on your little calculator, the little computer, and let the creatives let the showrunners and the writers handle this stuff. Like, I'm so glad that Keanu used that his influence, his power, he's Keanu Reeves, girl. So I'm glad he stood up and said, nah, we keeping it in. And especially like, I feel like the people who are not creative don't understand how one simple change can mess up everything. So I'm sure from the perspective of the executive side, it's like, well, it's just one little scene we want you to change. What's the big deal? It's just one little moment that we want you to take out, or one little alternative ending that we want you to do. What's the big deal? Why are y'all fighting so hard? But it's just like, no, it's going to remove the entire heart of this movie if you change this one little thing, this one thing that you deem too small to care this much about. You know what I mean? It's going to change the whole entire movie, show, whatever you're doing. So I'm glad he stuck it out because, clearly you see what happened. But anyway, y'all, I thought y'all would find that interesting. On that note, thank y'all so much for watching. Love y'all so much, and I'll check y'all later. Peace. All right, y'all, make sure that you're going to www.zeraxia.com. When you join the wait list there on the site, you will be the first to be notified when I drop my sequel. Also, you'll immediately get chapter 1 of my upcoming sequel of the upcoming book sent to your email as a PDF. So check that out. Also, this is a different excerpt from my upcoming book, so you definitely want to pause to read if you're trying to get your life. Keep in mind that this upcoming book, this sequel, is following up the first book that is already released called Zeraxia, Wrath of the God King. I released it a few years ago. It was my introduction to writing fantasy and stuff, so just go easy on me. But either way, as you can see here, it's given 4.9 stars. It's given 4.9 stars. So yeah, check out Zeraxia, Wrath of the God King while you wait for Zeraxia, The Vengeance of Cold Wind, right? And go to Zeraxia.com, sign up, join the wait list, get your free chapter. Thank you so much.